When most people think of survival, their minds immediately jump to gear lists, knives, backpacks, water filters, and, well, elaborate kits. But if you study the Great Depression, a very different lesson emerges. Survival then wasn't defined by equipment. It was defined by resourcefulness, adaptability, and skill. Families and individuals endured scarcity not because they had the latest tools, but because they learned to make every resource stretch further than anyone thought possible. Stay with me through this opening minute, because what you're about to learn isn't a nostalgic story or a quaint anecdote. This is real, practical knowledge that has kept people alive in the harshest circumstances, and it's a mindset you can still apply today. Understanding this wisdom teaches you to work with what you have, adapt to scarcity, and think creatively. Skills that no store-bought survival kit can replace. The Great Depression forced people to rely on skills rather than products. During the 1930s, money was scarce, and store shelves offered little beyond the bare essentials. People quickly learned that waiting for new tools, appliances, or convenience items was not an option. Clothes were patched repeatedly, old blankets were turned into coats or rugs, and kitchen scraps became compost to grow new food. Families learned to repair boots, mend tools, and make do with what they had. This skill-driven approach turned scarcity into survival because people weren't dependent on buying solutions. They created them. For modern survivalists, the lesson is clear. Your skills matter more than your gear. Take an old piece of canvas, leather or wood, and practice repairing it, shaping it, or repurposing it. Learn how to maintain the equipment you already own, rather than constantly seeking replacements. This mindset mirrors what Depression-era families relied upon for months and years at a time. Food security came from simple systems maintained consistently, not from stockpiling. Victory gardens and small plots of cultivated land were a lifeline for countless families during the Depression. These gardens weren't large, technologically advanced, or optimized. They were simple, consistent, and effective. People learned which vegetables produced high yields for minimal effort and reused kitchen scraps as compost to sustain the soil. They saved seeds season after season, preserving crops without depending on outside supply chains. Food security was a product of patience, repetition, and observation, not of abundance. Applying this principle today is straightforward. Start with a small garden or even a container of hardy vegetables. Practice rotating crops, composting scraps, and saving seeds for the next planting cycle. Over time, you'll see how consistent effort creates stability, even with limited resources. The lesson is to focus on habits and systems rather than temporary stockpiles. Community networks, they really amplified survival beyond what any one person could manage. Another key factor in Depression-era resilience was, the strength of local networks. Families and neighbours would trade skills, share produce, and exchange labour. Folks who could mend clothes became central to a neighbourhood, while others who could garden or repair tools, they supported the wider community. This cooperative approach, it multiplied everyone's ability to get by. And even today, modern survivalists can apply this principle, even if it's just on a small scale. Develop relationships with neighbours or fellow enthusiasts who have complementary skills. Share knowledge and resources where you can. Survival isn't just an individual pursuit. History shows a reliable network increases resilience exponentially. Resourcefulness, too, was developed through observation and, well, a fair bit of experimentation. When supplies were tight, people experimented. Soap was stretched with homemade additives, tools were repurposed, and fuel sources were improvised. Not every attempt worked out, but the habit of testing, learning and refining made sure folks kept improving. This iterative approach was just essential for survival because it fostered flexibility and adaptability in a world where things could change overnight. These days, survivalists can replicate this mindset by experimenting with alternative solutions in safe conditions. Try out simple ways to filter water, give small-scale composting a go, or improvise repairs. Learning to troubleshoot problems creatively, honestly, builds resilience far better than just relying on pre-packaged solutions. The Depression, well, it really taught us that mindset outweighs equipment every time. Ultimately, what kept families alive during the Great Depression wasn't gear, it was their mindset. They learned to observe carefully, experiment patiently, cooperate effectively, and stretch every resource to its maximum potential. This lesson, I'd say, remains critical even now. Sure, modern gear is useful, but skills, creativity and adaptability are what truly allow a person to survive when things get unpredictable. Survival is more about how you think than what you carry. If exploring the wisdom of Depression-era survival has given you valuable insights, make sure to subscribe to Backyard Wisdom, share this guide with fellow enthusiasts, and keep on discovering how historical skills can provide practical, real-world resilience today.